Charlie, and here's a fun fact about me. I love to throw parties, but I think I need to prove it to you. I mean, you could party. Wait, no, don't. I'm not giving up yet. Oh, wait, no, wait. This is a party. Okay, no, but better than that. Are you ready? Oh my goodness. Are you ready? I love to throw parties. I love thinking through all the things like the music, decoration, the food, and obviously all the people I want to invite. I mean, who doesn't love a good party? In fact, take a second and talk with your group to answer this question. Whether you're in the middle of the dance floor, keeping the party going, or creating a good vibe by setting up the decor and playlists, or hanging on the side with just a few friends, there is a place for everybody when it comes to a party, or at least there should be. So my husband's work was throwing a black and white party. It's like where you wear either a black outfit or a white outfit. And immediately, mime. You know mimes wear those black and white shirts, and sometimes they paint their face white with like black lines, and they don't talk, they just use their hands. So I totally Googled mime and I dressed up like it. And when we went to the party, all the other adults were just dressed in black or white. I was the only one in a costume. I thought I was gonna die. Maybe you can relate. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can, because in a lot of ways, it can feel like there are two groups in life, the in group and the out group. Think about it. This probably happens in your school, your neighborhood, on your sports team, and your friendships, and maybe even at home. Maybe you have a group of friends that you've been close with since you were little, and with them, you feel like you fit in. Maybe you moved to a neighborhood that most of the kids in your school don't live in, and you feel more left out at school. Maybe you have different interests than a lot of the kids in your group at church, so sometimes you even feel left out here. Or maybe you feel like you can be yourself with your family, and that makes home feel like a place where you fit in. Take a moment, turn to your group, and talk about this question. Sometimes, whether we realize it or not, we're the ones making other people feel left out. We tend to stay close to the people who look like us, think like us, like what we like, and do what we do. So now I'm gonna need you to talk about this question with your group. Here's the thing. The kind of party Jesus invites all of us to be a part of, that party, it is filled with all kinds of people. Now, remember, when I say party here, I'm not like talking about like a literal party. I mean any effort to celebrate, serve, or enjoy others in a way that adds value to life. And so being a party starter means being someone that does that for all people. People who are like us, people who aren't, people who fit in with us, and some are the people that get left out too. This invitation doesn't exclude anyone. And that means if we want to be party starters, we have to be the kind of people who sees everyone as someone worthy of the invitation, because in God's eyes, they are. Now, with your group, answer this question. There's actually a story from Jesus' life that I think could help us out here. One of Jesus' friends, a guy named Matthew, he recorded this story so that we can read about it today. Before we start reading, let me set the scene for you. Imagine each one of these chairs represents a different kind of person, a different background, a different interest, you name it. Jesus had just accepted an invitation to have dinner at Matthew's house. He showed up for the party to find that he wasn't the only guest on the list. In fact, the table was full of different kinds of people. Take a look. Later, Matthew invited Jesus and his disciples to his home as dinner guests, along with many tax collectors and other disreputable sinners. The people around the table with Jesus back then, they were definitely not the crowd that fit in. Tax collectors were considered some of the worst at that time. And with that, sinners with a bad reputation, these were not the type of people anyone thought Jesus would be sharing a meal with. Now, talk to your group about this question. A group of religious leaders at the time, known as the Pharisees, had a real problem with this dinner party. Here's what they had to say about it. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked the disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with such scum?" Harsh, right? I mean, to the Pharisees, the people around the table at that meal definitely did not deserve the invitation to party with Jesus. The Pharisees were purposely keeping others on the outside, and then they were judging and questioning Jesus and his group for not keeping them on the outside. But here's what Jesus said in a response to them. When Jesus heard this, he said, "Healthy people don't need a doctor, sick people do." Then he added, "Now go and learn the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy, not offer sacrifices. For I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners." Jesus knew that most people categorize the tax collectors and sinners as bad people. And to be fair, they definitely had done some things that were not so great. But Jesus' response shows us he didn't care about all that. He wasn't there to judge or exclude or only spend time with the people who lived exactly like he did. He wasn't concerned with who the Pharisees or anyone else thought he should give his time and attention to. See, Jesus came to care for those who needed him most. He came to show grace and love to the sinners, the tax collectors, and anyone else who had felt like they were cast out of the group. Most of us know that there's nothing worse than going somewhere and feeling isolated and unwanted. But on the flip side, few things feel as good as someone making space for you and making sure you feel like you belong. And that's what Jesus did here. And that's what we can do for others too. We don't get to decide who is in and who's out. As the ultimate party starter, Jesus shows us that everyone has a seat at the table. Jesus showed the tax collectors and the sinners that he didn't see in the way that others did. They had a seat at his table. They were invited. And the same is true for us today. We have the opportunity to start the party by remembering everyone, ourselves included, is in with God. That's because a party starter knows there's room for everyone at the table. Isn't it so cool when you get invited to be somewhere and you can even bring a friend? It instantly lets you know that you are wanted in the space and that others are welcome too. The truth is, you're invited to the party that Jesus offers through the full life that comes with following him. And you have a chance to invite someone to that party too, because a party starter knows there's room for everyone at the table. So rather than deciding who gets to be included, we have the chance to be the party starters who invite everyone to the full and amazing life with Jesus. Actually, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Jamel, who does all that.
So in 8th grade, I realized something about myself, that I actually liked meeting new people. And I also realized that there were a lot of new people to meet at my youth group specifically. So what I started doing was keeping an eye out for all of the people that were new to our youth group. And of course, with the help of my small group leaders. And what I started doing was making sure that I talked to them about themselves, introduce them to all my homies, and make sure that they had someone to sit with at youth group during the night. Also, sometimes you catch the vibe that they might actually get along with someone else better than me, and so I made that introduction for sure. What I realized then was that there was space for everyone at the table, and I was just making sure that I was pulling up a seat for others.
You can be the kind of person that makes sure everyone knows that they fit in and they're invited to the incredible life Jesus offers to all of us. And here's how. First, invite someone to the table. Who in your life can you include? Who could use an invitation from you? Who have you been treating like they don't fit in, who maybe need an invitation to remember that they're in with Jesus no matter what? Then go to someone else's party. I know that takes a lot of courage, but maybe you need to be the one to take the step to get to know someone new. Instead of inviting someone to step into your world, how can you make an effort to step into their world and get to know them? Before you can ask them to show up to feel in, be willing to share their space and be in their world. So think about how you can do that this week. Remember, a party starter knows there's room for everyone at the table. In fact, your group is a great place where everyone should feel included, a place where everyone knows they fit in. And it's a place you can invite your friends so that they have a place they know they fit into.